Communicate openly and honestly. This sounds like, oh yeah, duh. I mean, yeah. Hi, friends, and welcome to yet another episode with the Intentional Mom and Wife. And I'm Kathleen. So, today's topic is interesting. You can tell I look a little bit more interesting today. You could say so to yourself if you want. And I have Mama's special juice, only for Mama. Mm. Anyway, let's get into it. I titled today's topic Marriage Survival Skills. Now, while marriage is not Shipikisha Club, which is how it is termed sometimes where I come from, which is like the club of resilience, you know, it isn't that. It does require resilience. It does require okoshipikisha, you know, but that is not the emphasis of marriage. Anyway, I'm not a marriage counselor, disclaimer. I'm not a therapist of any sort. I'm just someone who is sharing my experiences with people who are willing to hear and listen and share theirs so that we can create a community where mothers, women, career women, we can just sit here and just chat and talk. No discrimination to the men. You're welcome. I mean, you can be here and give us your insight, and it's very nice to have opinions from the opposite sex because sometimes it's very easy to just see life from one dimension, but definitely having all sorts of opinions from male and female would be most welcome. No discrimination here. So I want to get right into it. I have a couple of points. Of course, I usually have 10. I will always have 10, I hope. This is just to keep me guided and so that I don't stray and talk about unnecessary things because it is very prone to happen, especially today that we're having some very yummy juice. So, um, as usual, I have my computer on my right side and I will look there once in a while just to remember where I am and to keep me guided and to keep the flow of the conversation. Let's go. Point number 1, communicate openly and honestly. This sounds like, oh yeah, duh. I mean, you have to communicate openly and honestly with your partner, of course. But it is the most difficult thing to do. This is, from my experience, is at some point in the beginning of the relationship, it's normal. You first need to trust someone before you can open up completely. But the one thing that I decided to do in the next relationship I got to, which happened to be the relationship I got into with my husband, because I had come from a relationship that didn't work out as anyone probably would have loved it to work out, and it happens. Breakups happen. So now I'm single and I've been single for a year, and I'm thinking to myself, the next relationship I get into, I really don't want to repeat the mistakes I made in the last one, and I really want to go in honestly and openly because I don't want to waste time. I mean, I want to know. At that time I was 29 and I was just like, you know what, I want to get into this relationship, and this person that I get into the next relationship with must be this, must be that, must be this, must be that. And I mean, I'd done that before, the usual way we do it in high school. You write a list of 10 things: handsome, tall, smells good, blah, blah, blah. I had that list, I've been there. But this one was different. I wanted something different, and I wanted a partner that I could respect, a partner that I felt respected by, a partner that I felt equal to, and just someone who made me feel protected and safe, which is something that I never felt for the longest time in my life, which is a story for another day. But that is what I wanted, and I needed that person to be so strong, so mightily strong, and yet so gentle, because in as much as I'm vulnerable and I have my soft spots, I am such a strong woman with a very strong personality. So it was very difficult. I knew it was going to be difficult to find someone that would match me or match my energies or match my expectations. So anyway, this is how I digress. Let's just make it a little short story time. So I met my husband then, friend, let's just say that we were introduced by a mutual friend, and it was during a coffee date. And in that moment I said, fine, I'm going on this date with this person, and in this 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever time it's going to be, I'm going to ask all the questions, bang 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 bang, and I'll see the answers I get, and from those answers I will see if I want to see this person again or not. And fortunately for me, it was the same on his end, because he'd also been through numerous relationships that didn't work out, and he wanted something different. And so we were both at a place where we just wanted something to be real, something that we could hold on to for the long run. And so we met and we talked, and in the very first hour of talking, I asked him all the big questions: finances, past relationships, future aspirations, marriage, children, name it. I spoke about it. Sex, everything. I spoke about it in that first 1 hour. And so that kind of opened and paved the way for the kind of conversation we were going to have in that date. And so I noticed he was also hesitant, but it also made him open up and start to ask very difficult questions that I felt a little bit uncomfortable to answer. Some I answered on that date, some I didn't, because I felt it was just a little bit too much to give to someone I didn't know. And I think vice versa. But as time went on and I kept on meeting with this person and seeing him, and mind you, my husband and I have talked and seen each other. We have talked every day from day one till this day. We talk every day. Whether I am upset, he's angry at me, I want to kill him, I want to punch him in the face, we talk. Whatever the case, we talk to each other. There's never been a day that we've gone without talking to each other, and that just blows my mind, because that was never me in previous relationships. And so anyway, it started becoming easier to talk to him openly as days went on, because also it was kind of like the foundation of our friendship, so to say. And so speaking openly and just being able to communicate openly when I was happy, when I was unhappy, when I was uncomfortable about something that he did or something that I wanted to see, it just really helped us understand each other a little bit better. And each time he showed himself to me in a way that I didn't expect or I wasn't used to, it made me learn a different version of him. It made me learn a different way to love. It made me learn a different way to show up and be in this person's life, because that then showed me that, look, this is who you're dealing with, and if this is who you want to be with, you either have to get on the wagon and go with it because this is who this person is, this is their truth, or you say no and you stay away. So each level of opening up, each level of our lives, of our hearts, of our minds that we opened up to each other, we got to understand a little bit more of who we were and who we were getting into the relationship with ultimately. So communicating openly and honestly is something that I definitely hold dear, that we started from day one and we still keep up to this day. And sometimes we have the most difficult conversations and it's just like, oh my God, I really don't want to have this conversation, but you have it because you have to have it. If you don't have it, you kind of don't move forward. You don't grow. You don't open the next level or the next chapter of the depth of each other's love for each other or respect or whatever it is the conversation may be based around. We talk it through. We talk through every single thing, and for me, that is major. And the second point is prioritize quality time together. In the beginning, of course, it was easy. We spent every day together. I wasn't working, he was working. He's a videographer. I was on set with him. I was smitten. I was in love. I was with him every single day of the week. And then as time went on, we started to have a balance. I started working, and so we constantly saw each other, and we spent a lot of time together. And of course, as you get to know each other, I think it's normal that the way you spend your time together kind of changes. So before, it used to be every time we meet, it's a date. It's all special. It's all planned out. Everything, name it. It's a date. It's gonna be extra special. But as we got to know each other, even just inviting him over to my house for lunch and then just sitting on the couch and just doing nothing afterwards was just so magical. So we started tailoring our dates and our meetups according to our lifestyles and availability. And so having quality time has really been something that we cherish. We make it a point to celebrate every single milestone. That's how we share our quality time. Every single small win. Oh my God, I managed to submit the work I was supposed to do on time. Yay, let's go and celebrate. So it's little things like that. Having a beer or some snacks called an aperitivo, and we just go and sit for 30 minutes and just have that moment together and just reignite the love between ourselves. Sometimes you need to be reminded that you are in a relationship with someone because life just gets so busy, and being parents also, you're pulled in so many directions. So just having those moments of quality time together just really solidifies our relationship and reminds us every day that we need to fight for each other, fight for one another, and try and conquer each other's hearts. And spending quality time is one of the things that we do to do that. The third point I have is show appreciation and gratitude. This one is, I feel, is more for women to men. So men I think were made to be providers. They were made to be givers. They hold the foundation of the home together, and that is their role in the home. And so when, as the wife, as the woman, as the supporter, you give gratitude to your husband, to your partner, and you just say, thank you so much for fixing the broken sink. Thank you so much for fixing the light bulb. I tell you, it's like it massages all those muscles in his arms, even if they're non-existent, but it just gives them this pride to say, I did something and it's been appreciated. And then it makes it releases, I think, some kind of energy that makes them want to do more for you. So being grateful in small things, which is something that I'm not saying I do all the time, but just being aware and being intentional in saying, wow, my partner really did this. Oh, he cleaned the house so well. It looks so nice. Thank you so much, babe, for cleaning the house. It looks amazing. Or thank you so much, babe, for preparing lunch, preparing dinner. Thank you. You know, like, just be grateful, be thankful for these little things, because I think for men it really goes a long way. And not to say it doesn't go the same way for women, because of course, if it's expected that the woman cleans and she prepares the babies and this and this and this and that, but just getting a thank you mama for washing the dishes, or thank you babe for putting all the toys back for us, you know, it just feels like, oh, my little efforts are being appreciated, and it really just does help. So it's just those little intentional things that you do during the day that can make that difference in the day, in the week, and ultimately in the life and your relationship together. And then the next one is practice forgiveness and grace. Lord knows this is, I think it's on my prayer points every single time. It's, Lord, help me be more forgiving. Lord, give me grace that I may be able to show grace unto others, especially my husband. Hallelujah. Grace, 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 and forgiveness. Who are we not to forgive? How many things in the day do we do wrong? And we seek this forgiveness. We may not always ask for it, but we seek forgiveness for it because we know it was wrong. We know we were wrong. And so to go through life living like you don't do wrong and you don't require forgiveness, I feel is wrong, because somebody is going to wrong you one way or the other. In the way they say something, in the way they do something, you will get offended, because it's life. I mean, when you're living with people, it's common that you're bound to clash or collide in little things, in big things. And so when that happens and it is acknowledged and you know that this person hurt you, your husband hurt you in this way, communicate it. Tell it. If they don't see it and realize it, tell it to them. Look, lover, you hurt my feelings at this point. You said this and it made me feel in this way. I know it didn't come from a point of I'm gonna hurt your feelings, but the way you said it hurt my feelings. And then there is opportunity for the apology to come in. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I meant it this way. And you, in that moment, because they have apologized, you don't have to say and put more salt on the wound. Oh, yeah, yes, because this, because that, because... No. In that moment, you say, I forgive you, and you move. You forgive, even if you don't feel it in that moment, but say the words, I forgive you, and thank you for your apology, and move on. With time, you will heal from it. You have said the words, you have brought it out, and you're putting it out into existence. So you have said the words to forgive. And as you go by the day and act by it, you will eventually forgive and heal, because it's easy to hold on to small grudges. It's one little grudge that will turn into a bigger grudge, and eventually you're upset at your partner for Lord knows what. Not putting the knife in the right position, not putting his shoes closely together, putting the left on the other side. And these little things get you so upset, and you don't say it, you don't mention it, and it bottles up. And one day you're so angry and so full of rage and frustration, and you don't even know why, because you've been piling up these little things that you've lost vision of what is really important, you know? You don't know what is the big thing, what is the small thing, what is to let go and what is to sit on and to discuss, because you don't forgive. So having grace on each other and just remembering that this is just another human being. Of course, this person is gonna hurt my feelings. This person is going to offend me. This person may do wrong towards me or against me. And it's not always from intentions of hurting my feelings, but it's prone to happen. So I should be in the position to be able to forgive. This said, there are certain things that happen that may require you to go for therapy, that may require you to seek help between the two of you, that sometimes may even require you to leave your relationship if it's bodily harm, if it's abuse of any sort on you or on your children. That is a case where you have to report it to the authorities, and you seek a way to forgive so that you may heal, but you don't necessarily have to stay in the situation. So just be able to weigh the options. I'm not saying stay in a toxic relationship just because you have to forgive. If it's toxic and it's not helping, forgive, let go, and move on. But then we're talking about the little things here, the small things here, the small things that build up and become something that you will argue about in 2 or 3 weeks' time. Those are the things that you should talk about, let go of, and forgive, and then move on and try and build your relationship after the forgiveness. The onus is now on the person that did the wrong to change and make sure that they don't repeat the same thing that they did again. Okay? So the 5th one is support each other's dreams and goals. Okay, I don't know, I said it that way. Support goes a long way. It could be a big dream, it could be a small dream. Here I am making YouTube videos. I'm now on my 3rd video, thanks to you guys, and also thanks to the support of my husband. I mean, he's the one who told me, oh no, put your light in this way, put your other light here, and put your camera here, and sit in this way. And you know, that little support in my goals, in my dreams, it really goes a long way, even to the bigger things, career moves. Okay, no, try and take your career this way, take this course, study that, go ahead and attain that degree or that master's, whatever that support may look like. Take it because you need it. And also don't be scared to give it. You never know whose life you're changing. You never know whose life you're touching by supporting your husband, because we go out in the world and we do our job, and to us it may be just a job, but ultimately all these things are connected. As human beings, we're connected, we're intertwined. My job is connected to the next person. So if my husband supports me to do my job, I am able to do my job efficiently, and that job is able to fulfill its space in whatever it's supposed to do and help whoever it's intended to help. In this case, I'm supported to sit down here and do this video, and I'm speaking to people in relationships, to mothers, to husbands. And on the other end of the screen, there's you that's listening, and maybe whatever I'm saying is helping you. So the support from my husband has kept me going, and I'm able to do what I love to do, what I want to do, and you are able to benefit from it. So it's a chain. So support, and let your support come from your heart. Let it be something you freely give without any expectations of any paybacks. That is that is my take on it. That is how I approach support, and I'm here to support my husband in any way. I'll support him by taking our son away from him for 2 hours if he needs that time to make that call. I'll support him by letting him sleep in if he needs to rest. I'll support him in bigger ways that I can, and as he needs it, and if I'm able to in that moment. So support really does help you kind of survive through that marriage, if you get my point. So as usual, we are halfway through the video. A little sip of the juice. I hear you judging me there, saying out of all the things she's been sipping in these videos, she's sipping this one a little bit too much. But yeah, I think I deserve it, don't you? Anyway, this goes to say, if you like the video and you like what you're hearing and what we're discussing right now, please give this video a little thumbs up, and also comment down below any tips or any advice that you have for, or not surviving marriage per se, but just some tips that people could follow, that I could follow to implement in having a healthy relationship with your partner. Make it intentional and just taking the relationship to where you both, or we both, would like it to go. So I'm looking forward to seeing those comments, and if you don't mind, do share this video, and yeah, you never know who it might help. So moving along, the 6th point is keep the romance alive, and y'all know how I go about with my romance at this point. I always have some wine. Speaking of wine, no, okay, now seriously, it's really not as bad as it looks, honestly. Anyway, but keeping the romance alive, this is different. Romance is dependent on who the people are, who is involved in the relationship. What is romantic to you may not be romantic to me, and vice versa. So find those things that your partner deems as romantic. For me, it's just sometimes just sitting at home and projecting a movie on one of our blank walls, and just watching a movie on Netflix together while I cuddle in his arms and let him stroke his hands through my locks. And for me, that is so romantic. And if he does that for me, I'm over the moon. With chocolate and a bottle of wine, I'm taken, I'm gone. It doesn't take so much to make me happy. Of course, surprising me with a trip out of town, a little weekend out of town, that is another level of romance. But the spectrum is broad, you know, the spectrum is broad. And trying to incorporate this in daily life. I try to romanticize our dinners together, because dinner, I feel, is a time when we are all together, a little bit more calm. So we've all had our long days. When I say all, I mean my husband, my son, and myself. And so at dinner time, I try and when I'm cooking, cook a really hearty, healthy, yummy meal, set the table in a very cute way, you know, just appealing, and just make it special. It's dinner, it doesn't have to be plain and boring, but I just try and make dinner special and set our seats, and sometimes play some music just to set the mood. And yeah, so it's the little things, just to romanticize the little moments, romanticizing going to the park even, you know, walking hand in hand, pushing the stroller together, holding my husband's arm while he pushes the stroller. Or I don't know, just little things that just make that day a little bit more intimate, and just bringing in those emotions and just letting my people know that I love them and I'm here for them, and I will always be here for them no matter what, because they are my people, they are my family now. We're bound for life, literally. So yeah, finding those little moments in the day where you can show romance. Sometimes I send a nice little cute text to my husband, cute pictures, you know, like keep it spicy, you know. Replace cute with yeah. Let's move on. And the next point is number 7, which is practice active partnership. Now, I would replace active here with intentional partnership. You are partners at the end of the day, ultimately, no matter what. Social media will tell you one thing. Your parents will tell you one thing. Culture will tell you one thing. Society will tell you one thing. At the end of the day, what works is what works for your partnership. What works for your relationship, the two of you, when you are together, what works for you, that is what you need to focus on. So practicing active partnership is checking in with your partner now and then. What is it that, what do you think about doing this with our son? Or, well, his bedtime is now at 8:30. What do you think about maybe bringing it down to 8 so that we can have more time to watch a movie? And you bounce these ideas off of each other, and so you discuss, or how can we do it? Or maybe you put him to bed this time, or let's put him to bed in this way. Or no, what do you think about us going out to eat on this day with so and so and so? Oh no, because, you know, partnership, you discuss everything, not just the finances, on how much do we need to save this year for us to be able to buy that house? How much money are we putting in together for the mortgage or to get a loan on a house? You know, it's not just the big decisions, but it's the small decisions too. Oh baby, I'm thinking of roasting the beef in this way. And I don't know, I was thinking of using some herbs. Oh no, maybe try and add some spices. You get the gist. Partnership, you are partners. You're living this life together. Be intentional about what you let your husband or your partner or your wife into in the cooking, and what you're going to wear. I wanted to wear these shoes with this shirt. What do you think? Just try and be intentional with the small things and see how that goes, and see that your partner does not feel more connected to you, because the more you let them in on the smaller things, the easier it will be to let them in on the bigger things. And that way you create a kind of liquidity that you can share and bounce ideas off of each other, from the big decisions to the small decisions. So being intentional on partnership and just sharing each other, because for me, when I see partner, I envision you know, when we were young and we'll do those sack races. So you get in a sack. There was one race where you had to get in a sack with a friend, and so it's a big sack, and one is holding onto the other, and you're both in it, and you have to hop at the same time. Now, if you're hopping at different phases, you're going to fumble and fall. You won't make it to the finish line. So you're sitting there and you hop together, one step at a time, slow but surely. Forget what's happening. The goal is to get the finish line. The goal is to get to your destination. The goal is to fulfill your purpose as an individual, as a team, as partners. So that is the goal. And in the same way, take that sack race, that team partnership sack race, as a way to go through life together and just implement this intentional partnership in your relationship. And so the next point is maintain mutual respect and kindness. Respect is understated, honestly. Respect is not just, yes, this is my husband, this is Mr. So-and-so, but this, but she that, you know. Respect is how you treat your husband when there's just the two of you. When it's just you and him, you and her. Sorry, I keep saying husband. It just comes off. But how you treat your partner when it's just the two of you. When the doors are closed and it's just the two of you, how do you treat your partner? That is respect. How do you talk to them? How do you refer to them? How do you communicate to them your needs, your desires, your wants? How do you communicate your affection to them? That is respect. If how you approach your partner when the doors are closed and it's just the two of you does not reflect how you would like to be treated, then you know that you need to work on something there. Treat your partner how you would love to be treated, and they will reciprocate. We are human beings. We are prone to mirror treatment. We are prone to mirror emotions. We mirror each other. And if you live with someone for so long, it's inevitable that you don't mirror each other. You will mirror each other's every move. That's why they say when you are together for so long, you start to look alike. It's not more so in the physical aspect, because I don't think physical aspects would change. I was told just last Christmas that my husband and I have started looking alike. And I'm African, Zambian, and he is Italian. So we definitely do not look alike physically, but because we've been together for so long, we start to do certain things similarly. Like as I speak, I probably use my hands the way he does, because he uses his hands a lot when he speaks. Some facial expressions, intonations, you know, all those little things. The tone of my voice, the way I speak to other people has changed because of the way I speak with him, because I spend so much time with him that we start to speak almost the same. So the way I used to speak has changed, the way he used to speak has changed, and we now speak almost the same. So I think it's the intention that God had for marriages, in that you become one. It's not that you become one person and you are one. You become one, you move as one, you operate as one, you handle situations as one, because you know that if you make the best decision for yourself, it's going to benefit your partner too. So that is what it means by becoming one, by moving as one, and just reinforcing this partnership and maintaining respect and just treating each other with kindness, just being kind, and just be kind without any expectations, without any requirements. Just be kind, be nice to your partner, and yeah, that should help you survive the marriage. And the ninth one is celebrate your differences. This is difficult for most people, not all, but being different is what makes you unique. I mean, being different is what made you fall in love with each other, because if your partner was exactly like you are, you probably would never have even given them a second look, because you don't go in life exactly for a partner to look for exactly who you are. If you do that, then maybe there's something wrong there. But usually you go and you search for something that you don't have. You long for something that you don't have, and that's where the desire comes from. You don't have it, so you want it. And so you are definitely completely two different people, and those differences are what make you unique and what make you special. Of course, if the differences are negative and toxic traits that you want to let go of those things. But those positive things, those good things that make you different, those things that define who you are, that keep you rooted, that keep you grounded, that help you have your moral compass, those things are the things that are worth celebrating and are worth uplifting in your partner. You know, like, make those things special, make them feel like, oh my god, you are the best breather I've ever seen. Like, the way you breathe, I've never seen anybody that breathes like you. And it's little things like that just, I don't know. I say this because my husband makes me feel like I am the most special being in the world. He makes me feel like he's never met anybody that has existed that's like me, and it just makes me feel so special. He just tells me, like, you're the best partner in the world. Like, you help me through. You, where would I be without you? You know, like, you help me understand life in a different way. You I don't know, he just makes me feel so valued, so needed. And it's just from his kind words. You just be kind, you just be like, Nams, thank you for being you. If you weren't you, this situation would be the worst situation in my life. But I'm grateful that I have you. And you know, it's little things like that that just make you feel like I'm doing something right. I have done something right, and I'm with the right person. I will continue to be this person and continue to be kind and to be loving and to be respectful. Because for me, when I feel loved and appreciated and respected, I just there's a certain way I give myself without limitations, without holding back, and I just want to give myself to my partner. And yeah, it's those little things, and I try to emulate that. I try to emulate his kindness. My husband is the kind of person who apologizes immediately he realizes he's done something wrong, even when he doesn't know what he's done and he realizes, oh my goodness, I may have offended her. My husband's the kind of person like, I'm so sorry, Kathleen, I'm so sorry. What did I do wrong? How can I make it right? I, on the other hand, I'm working on it, but sometimes he really has to dig for that I'm sorry. And it shouldn't be that way. But at the same time, in as much as it takes me a little bit longer to say I'm sorry, I'm the kind of person who is very attentive. If I did something wrong to you and I realize that it's wrong, I try my best not to do it again. So, of course, he says sorry more than I do because he does more wrong than I do. No one can argue this, not even him. But it's just that kind of treatment, and I'm seeing, okay, so he says sorry, and so I'll do something sometimes. I'm just like, oh baby, I'm so sorry. And I mean, the first few times it felt like, oh my god, I just said sorry immediately after I did something wrong. Am I okay? Is everything okay? Do I need a glass of wine? Yes. But it's those little things, you know, you just learn and you emulate, and so it's little things that I'm learning, and I'm showing the way he is kind to me. I try and show that same kindness unto him, and he shows my same kindness back to me. So it's a cycle. It's like we're giving out kindness and love, and that is what we try and center our relationship around, and hopefully also try and teach our son to be kind and to be loving. So we try and speak to each other in a way that we want him to speak to us and to speak to other people, because children ultimately do what they see and not basically what you tell them. And the last point I have is never stop growing together. This one is so true. I mean, growth can come in so many different forms: spiritual, emotional, psychologically, financially. It's all growth, and growth happens at different speed for each one of you. You're not going to grow at the same time just because you're partners. But when you are in a season of sprout, a season of growth, acknowledge that growth. And if you have a partner that supports you, then they're going to support you through that growth, even if he or she is not growing as you are. But when you are as you are growing and you realize that you are growing, and there are things that you can do and opportunities arise where you can help your partner grow too, bring them into that and allow them to join you on your journey of growth, because that will allow you to then grow together. It sounds a little bit complicated, but what I mean is, for example, my husband is more financially savvy than I am. In that case, I mean, he really knows where he's spending his money, what he wants to spend his money on, and how he's going to spend it. And so he has an idea of what he wants to do with his money. I, on the other hand, before maybe just said, okay, I need to save, and if I want something, I need to buy it because I need it. And so I didn't really have that kind of relationship around finances. But as he grew and he started to understand his finances better, he took me in and he'll tell me, look, this is what I have and this is what I want to do. And I would like, for example, we'll give an example of a trip. I would like to travel to this country and this is what it's going to cost me. And so I would like to go with you. This was when we were dating, by the way. I would like you to come with me. So for us to be able to do it together, we need to save, let's say, for example, $500 each. And so, okay, so I try with what I know and what I have, and I came short. I had 300 and he had his 500 ready. And he said, okay, you did your steps and you did your growth and you did not get the 500, but you got your 300, but at least you followed me on the process and we did this growth thing together. So I will add a 200 for you so that we both have 500 and we can go on the trip and enjoy it together. And so from that, I learned, okay, so this is what I need to do next time. So for the next trip, I put in all my efforts, I put in all my work, and I had my 500 and he had his 500. And so we had our trip and we went. And it's something that we've carried on even into our marriage. Of course, we have our separate accounts, but when we come to planning for the household, we bring in and he brings in, and we do what works for us. So we want to go on a trip, like, okay, I have my individual plans. Of course, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to grow my money in this way, I want to grow my money in that way. These are the bills that we have, these are my contributions, XYZ. So this is how much I have. So I tell him, look, this is how much I'm able to spare, this is how much you're able to spare. And so we make a budget, and we plan a trip according to what we have. And so that is just an example in growing together and just taking each other along the journey, so that way whoever may be lacking in that phase, in that thing that you are growing in, may grow with you, and you grow together. You may not be at the same level, so you may be at level 10 and your partner may be at level 6. That doesn't matter. The point is you're both growing from 10 to 11, from 6 to 7, and you're both growing, and you're both growing, and you're both growing. There comes a point where you'll both be at the same level, and maybe your partner even exceeds you. But that is a process. You keep growing from 11, 11.5, your partner is at 12, and you keep going. The point is to keep growing together and not to neglect each other, or to see it as a weakness or a moment of an opportunity to fight or bring each other down. Use it as an opportunity to grow together and grow your relationship together, because ultimately that is how we grow as human beings. That is how our partnerships have purpose, and our meeting each other have got meaning, by embracing every step of the way in the journey, being kind, growing together, and prioritizing each other, being present in the moment for each other. Those are the things that are important at the end of the day. When you silence all the noise and just focus on the both of you, do what works for you, and trust me, the world will just follow suit. They will either just let you be and say, look, those guys are weird, and they'll watch you from a distance, or they'll embrace you and learn from you, and you will have your unit, your family unit, your growth, and your partner eventually. So yeah, I don't want to speak too much. I feel like I've been speaking enough already. I'm going to end this video here. So as usual, if you liked this video and you found it helpful, please comment down below and let me know what parts stood out to you, what you found relatable, what you would implement, what you wouldn't implement, what you would advise. I look forward to seeing all your comments and chatting with you later on down in the comment section. And do also give it a nice thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. If you've made it up to this far, thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video. And cheers. People stop to gaze upon